Okay, so we're diving into the world of American black bears today, specifically in Washington state.
Right.
Someone sent us this really interesting essay all about them.
Cool.
And, we're going to use that as our kind of like our guide for this deep dive.
Yeah.
I got to say, I thought I knew a little something about black bears,
Mm-hmm.
but there's some really cool things in here. Even I learned a bunch.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so, the whole point of this is to really get a better understanding of black bears, their role in the ecosystem, all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. And like I said, there's some fun facts in here. Did you know that their fur isn't always black?
Really?
I know, right? And that every fall they basically become competitive eaters.
Oh,
I
wow.
know, it's crazy. So let's get into it.
Yeah, let's dive in.
Yeah. So first off, we always think of black bears as these iconic creatures of the Pacific Northwest,
Mhm.
but the essay called them a quintessential symbol of the
Oh.
region. So what's that all about? What makes them so important to the whole ecosystem here in Washington?
Well, they play a huge role in keeping our forests healthy. They're kind of like natural forest gardeners.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you see, they have a really diverse diet, lots of berries and fruit. And as they wander around eating all that stuff, they spread the seeds, helping new trees grow all over the place.
So they're not just kind of cute and cuddly. They're actually helping the forest survive.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of their diet, the essay mentions they're opportunistic feeders. What does that even mean? Are they like the raccoons of the bear world?
Uh-huh, in a way. They're not quite as mischievous as raccoons, but they are pretty adaptable when it comes to food.
Okay.
Like, they eat berries, nuts, insects, fish, even small mammals sometimes.
Wow.
This flexibility is a big reason why they're so good at surviving in all kinds of habitats.
That makes sense. But there's this one thing that really blew my mind.
Oh.
This whole hyperphagia thing in the fall.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds intense.
Yeah.
Imagine having to eat enough to sleep for months.
Right?
That's what they do during hyperphagia.
They're basically prepping for hibernation.
Yeah.
They go on a crazy eating spree, like up to 20,000 calories a day.
Oh my gosh, 20,000 calories. That's got to be like a whole Thanksgiving dinner every day.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you mentioned hibernation. The essay says that black bear hibernation is different from other bears.
It is.
Can you explain that a little bit?
Sure. So unlike some other bears, their body temperature doesn't drop as much during hibernation,
Oh, okay.
and they can wake up easier if something bothers them. They're not in a super deep sleep like, say, grizzly bears.
Yeah.
That way they can react to changes around them, or danger.
Interesting.
Makes sense given how adaptable they are, right?
Yeah, it does. You mentioned danger, though. And the essay also talks about the problems that come up when humans and bears interact.
Yeah.
Especially now, with more and more towns and cities being built where bears live. So,
As we move into their areas, we're going to see them more often. And that can cause conflict. It's important to remember that they're wild animals.
yeah.
Even though they might seem cute and cuddly, they can be dangerous, especially if they feel threatened or if they've gotten used to human food.
Yeah, that makes sense. So how do we, appreciate how wild they are, but also stay safe?
I think education is key.
Okay.
We need to understand how they behave, know how to avoid them, be smart about storing food and stuff like that. We got to find a way to live together peacefully.
Exactly. And it's not just about avoiding the bad stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's also about appreciating how important they are to people. The essay talked about how indigenous people have respected them for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
They're in their stories, their art, their traditions.
It's true. Black bears have a really deep cultural and spiritual meaning for many indigenous communities. They see them as powerful, like teachers, symbols of strength.
So it's like a whole other way of understanding them. When you consider all of this, how adaptable they are, how important they are to the ecosystem, their cultural importance, what do you think is the most important thing for people in Washington to remember about black bears?
It all comes down to respect, I think.
Respect.
Yeah, respect for their wildness, for their homes, for the role they play in nature. We got to find ways to live in harmony with these incredible creatures.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
So when we're out hiking this summer,
Yeah.
or even just, seeing a picture of a black bear on a postcard or something, let's remember that they're not just cute and fuzzy. They're complex, fascinating animals. And they're a really important part of our community here in Washington. The more we understand them, the better we can protect them. So they're around for a long time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.